No insults, no personal attacks, really no code of conduct broken here. Just innocent. The community content team tried really hard to push the only constant in game dev is change, and some players are still citing decade-old quotes as immovable facts promises. I mean, basically simping for CIG, but people started discussing, and NightRider, of all people, will never allow that to happen, so there you go. The thread has veered into the legal and litigious speculation, which falls outside acceptable discussion. What is acceptable discussion these days? Very fine line, Guys, if you're being entertained, if you're having fun, subscribe to the channel. Oh, by the way, I have published Lucas Dreams, my children's book. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. I do these things. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link there below. I think I'm pretty happy with the results. It's not still like the interior being fully available in Amazon. It takes about a week based on my other books until you can actually check the inside, especially for a children's book. But anyway, if you want to support the channel, if you want to support what I do, and you want to have a pretty cool book to read to your child, there you go. Guys, this is, I mean, as innocent as it could possibly be in terms of Jared Huckabee looks at the camera and says, "We used to fill your heads with something we weren't certain we could do, which is what we used to do." It's funny, many of us desire more transparency, more moments where CIG admits they were wrong. But there are still sometimes admitting they were wrong is the last thing people want to hear. I still think that one of the bravest things CIG has ever said, because there really is no elegant way to project for a project like this, to admit they shared an idea they can't deliver. If you spend money on a very specific promise from 10 years ago, well, I think we all learned the risks of crowdfunding. At this point, think things change. Not all promises are kept. Oh, it is so not such innocence. Such innocence. I'm in that stage, writing children's book, and I feel like the innocence of small children in this. Dude, there's no miscommunication. There's no transparency issue. There's none. There's no transparency. It is a company that is, of course, for profit, which is perfectly fine. But part of that is being very disingenuous with what their goals are, keeping you engaged, trying to trick you into believing that, the thing is this is an alpha, so you know how alphas are, they're very buggy, and at the end of the day no, they're focusing on selling more ships, which is the only thing they really care about. And as far as lawyers go, it's an online service that is fully delivered. This is what you have. If you don't like it, well, that's too bad, but that's what they've done. They've made a business model that focuses on selling new ships. An event that we'll have, which is the biggest event they have, is just selling more ships again. And the other little events they have focus on selling more ships. None of these are about releasing interesting new content. Hell, Nyx is basically going to be the station you already had, but launched again after pulling it from the game years ago. It is ridiculous, but this is how the business works. If you're not okay with that, then you really should not spend a single cent in this game at all. Not even the $50 or so that I usually recommend for people that want to get into this with something like the Avenger Titan. But really, if you don't understand this crucial part of the business model that CIG revolves around, which is sell more ships, distract, throw some pretend event that is so broken it's not even worth doing, and the rewards are also pathetic, and dude, if you don't understand this, you have no business engaging with this company. But people were talking about things that are a little bit uncomfortable. Would you say the same if they changed their mind and gave us PvE servers? Ooh, talking about PvE servers. Honestly, the promise I want to keep is the ability to run my own private server. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Never gonna see that. You're never gonna run your own private server. Trust me, we're getting closer and closer to CIG getting dethroned by 100% of the things they've already done. Companies will do a lot more soon and better. Ooh. No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky has done it better. You make your own ships. I actually have the parts from the expedition event for making a pretty cool, Death Star looking black and red ship. Which is fun. You can make your own, and you keep it. You keep it forever. It stays there for years and years, no problem. Obviously, that's different because reasons. Would you say the same if they change? I think this is an astute point. Every player understands that things change and accept the small changes, as long as CIG doesn't compromise on the core game. What is the core game? What are you even talking about? We have the same thing for so many years. Nothing in actual true progression towards a finished product. No exploration, no base building, no true persistence in terms of what you get in the game. Whatever, you cannot even sell ships in the game. How stupid is that? In a game that pretends to be realistic, not only can you not sell ships in the game, which, dude, I bought something in a fucking spaceship dealership. I can't sell it back for some credit. Why? You can't even sell efficiently the loot. They have this system by which every time you click on sell, it takes forever, and if you do it like 3 or 4 times, one after the other, it just crashes, and you just give up. It's intentional. They're not stupid. They know how to make a sell all button. Trust me. They're not idiots. They can do that in fucking 5 minutes. Sell all. Rifles. Handguns. Armor. Sell all. I sell them all. And I make 100K. Ooh, why don't they do that? It's so difficult to make a sell all button? No, it's not. It is the easiest thing in the world. It is barely an inconvenience, you can even say. But they don't do it on purpose. They don't want you making any money in game because that's the thing that pushes you to spending money in the real business, which is this. RobertSpaceIndustries.com. Here, everything works perfectly well. Instant deliver of whatever you want. Never gonna miss anything. Nothing's gonna disappear if you pay with the magic money, the real money, the only one they really care about, which is, that's what they do. If they do, then they do. Just don't get mad when nobody is there. All right, the PvP stuff, decade-old quotes. In many cases, the only clear statement CIG has ever made about the game is they intend to build. You are free to assume those statements are no longer valid for whatever reason, but you are not free to force your assumptions on others. Oh, let's apply some rational thought then. Why is it rational to assume the ideas? Things are getting OP. I have only ever backed 2 Kickstarters this game and Underworld Ascent. Underworld Ascent turned into a dumpster fire. This game has yet to release. I don't back anything on Kickstarter anymore. That's what they don't like. That's the conversation Night Bitch was so pissed about. See, when you look at why the heck are you on Spectrum then? Yeah, those are the accusations. You're going to be floored when you find out that Aaron Roberts basically said this in 2019. With this release on the roadmap, I have very much made sure and asked the team that what we put in there is what we can achieve with what we have right now. Last time we had it, if this woman, do you know who this woman is? Have you looked her up? It's a fucking talk about a dumpster fire. There you go. Look up Aaron Roberts, and then you understand why this is borderline clinical stuff. This time it's what we are pretty damn sure we can do. So this time we said let's just put in the roadmap what people feel is completely doable. With what we have right now, I feel very comfortable, blah, 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 because explicitly I said, let's just get it there. I'd rather surprise people with new stuff than disappoint them with taking it out. And they just take everything out. They take out the flight model. They take out entire bases and they just introduce them later. If there's one thing they do is take out stuff. Thousands of players per server will be achieved by the end of 2019. Pyro and jump points will be done by 2020. iCache and full persistence were coming within the year 2000. Theaters of Wars 2020, and it goes on. That track is more or less CIG's constant stumble. Is extreme naive. No, they're not extremely naive. They're extremely greedy. Extremely greedy. That's what they are. Netcode is a factor, though. How many lies? How many persistence and this and that? Yeah, server meshing is gonna fix everything. Yeah, there you go, server meshing. It's just terrible. They can certainly use it. Well, this guy's not even. But there's things that they don't like you talking about. So if the last thing we heard was that A was happening, then the source holds. If more recently we hear B is happening, as part contradicts A, then it's B. Change happens, but unless CIG tells us about it, then the last time, dude, don't even waste your time. They constantly lie. They just distract you with events that are barely embarrassing. That's what they are. Events that are just embarrassing. It's worse than that. Some people are right now raging and complaining about something they did say they would do. The lesson to take from this is that folks will complain. Yeah, people complain. They're crybabies. They complain that it's an alpha. This too, CIG keeps your promise except the ones I don't like. No, they don't do a damn thing, man. That's really what's going on here. But look how, even when you start talking about, things that are barely making people think, they don't allow any of that. The main reason I backed CIG back in 2012 was this. The reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. True that traditional publishers don't believe in PC. So they were talking about great posts, written patient, reasonable answers to critiques, but I guess it's not popular opinion when I see their reactions. I could say a lot about what you wrote and how disingenuous it is, but I'm not allowed. Everything is speculation, And here, NightRider. Hello, this thread has veered into legal and litigious speculation, which falls outside acceptable discussion boundaries and such. They're closing this shit. You're just talking about things that could maybe get people thinking about, have we been constantly lied here? Is this actually happen? Or are we taking for a ride? Are we getting ripped off like a bunch of suckers? Yeah. And before it even gets close to that, it gets blocked. Of course it does. Guys, see you next time. Take care.